What is going on, everybody?
Hello!
It is Pixelmarters here, and welcome back to the Great Ace Attorney to when we left off.
This guy.
Jigoku is in the courtroom. We're trying to be like, hey, you did some shit. He's like, no, I didn't. And so now we're just trying to get to the bottom of this, because now he's just like, he was there and I hip tossed the boy. So he was fine. Yeah, I don't think we're just gonna have to start pressing things. So I guess waiting for everyone to return to the cabin. Even that meal, that'd be Gregson. Because the so-called guard posted your cabin door and just let your killer pass, you mean? This is you.
Oh yeah, that's right. I keep forgetting. I just see a guy and I'm like, that's not me.
Apparently Gregson told the crewman he was a police inspector, which was the truth, of course.
He wouldn't have had this identification with him, though.
He had his trench coat and mustache, not to mention a bag of chips. I imagine the crewman was convinced.
But the man accompanying him would have had two swords slung around his waist. You mean me? Who else?
Yes, that's true. You would have hoped the sight of a few swords might have set off an alarm bells in the god's head.
The point is, I left the cabin before its occupant returned and I immediately disembarked the ship.
Certainly. All I can tell you is that only the inspector was waiting for me when I arrived back at my cabin.
And you entered without any inkling of suspicion?
That's right. None whatsoever.
Okay, nothing new from that.
I just realized something. It's a good thing that Strongheart is the judge, because my throat
yeah,
would be obliterated. I would not be able to do it. You'd have to take over, and that's blasphemy.
I could take over as the judge for once if that was the case, but,
yeah, but
we don't have to worry about that right now. So
yeah, no.
Walk to the door, my son, gentlemen. There's a foolishly waving a gun at me. That would probably be Gregson again. Obviously, you're talking about Inspector Gregson.
Yes, though at the time I didn't know the man's name. There was no time for introductions. I value my life over manners.
By which you mean that the inspector was there to assassinate you, I suppose?
That was certainly the impression given by the gun pointing in my direction. But I've never seen the muzzle of a revolver shake about so much in all my life.
What kind of chuckle was that? Look at his face. I want to punch it. It's so punchable.
He's like, I can't believe you was so...
Anyone would think the man had never shot somebody before.
Because he probably hasn't.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, most of us haven't.
Yeah.
Anyway, there was no time to call for the help of the crewman at the door, so I dealt with the man myself.
I bet you've shot someone before, huh, Jigoku? In like the past week, haven't you? Nah, as soon as I get everyone with the throw. The throw.
The Ippon Seoi,
Yeah.
I think it's how you...
Even though the man had a gun, that was a very brave move, wasn't it?
My Ippon Seoi is far faster than a bullet, I can assure you.
But surely all the commotion caused the crewman to come in, didn't it?
Yes, of course. He pressed in immediately without knocking. Inspector hurled himself at the stocky fellow and just managed to slip past him to make his escape.
The outstanding guard does it again.
Luckily, there aren't many situations I can't get out of using a quick Ippon Seoi throw.
Can we get the crewman in here? How long would
For
that
real.
take? Like 4 months? I don't know where that ship's gone by now, but the watch was broken when I threw over the shoulder. Nothing to do with his murder. The crown snapped off and the glass covering the face of the watch was cracked.
Preferable to the man's head being pulled off or his spine cracking, wouldn't you say?
Oh god.
Bro.
Not that the man was spared for long. A bullet to the chest soon saw to that. But the point is, the broken pocket watch doesn't prove that a murder took place.
Absolutely not. All the watch proves is the power of my jujitsu throw.
I hate you.
Whatever you say, it doesn't quite ring true that no shot was fired in that cabin. Because there was an obvious bullet hole in the wall.
What are you talking about?
Huh?
That's what the star of your low-brow detective stories told you, is it? But I don't care for such fiction.
And I don't care for your presence. I don't think that was both me and Suzuto.
Yeah.
Haven't you worked it out yet, you little stripling?
What?
No murder took place in my cabin.
They thought having returned to Britain because his body was found in London. But there's no evidence that proves the victim ever returned to London alive.
Just take a moment to think that idea of yours through now, stripling.
What?
If the inspector was killed on a steamship in France, how on earth could he have got back to Britain? When people die, their bodies remain at that same spot. The devil of a thing.
Well, then obviously the culprit must have moved the body.
How exactly? Carrying a corpse off a ship in your arms would raise a few eyebrows at least, don't you think?
Well, yes, that's true, but you fit in your suitcase.
Yeah.
All passenger luggage is suspected when it is unloaded from arriving vessels. And I would like to think the border police would query the corpse of an English gentleman as hand luggage. Wait, didn't they get... Do we have any... Because when they first came in... I'll read Cosmo's sign in a second. We probably don't have a thing, but...
What?
They got off the ship really quickly because they were in, like, priority. Wasn't that the case? Because remember we were surprised like Mikoto was at the hotel already. It was like, oh, me and Jigoku are here because we got prime treatment and just got let off the ship because we're special. Remember?
I don't remember.
That was like way at the beginning of the case. But I thought that was what they said, but I don't think we have anything for that. Shit. Someone say it for me. If the murder taking place aboard the ship, you would imagine the body would have been disposed of at sea. There would be no sense in risking being caught by attempting to transport the body back to Britain.
There would be if it was to frame someone.
Yeah, that's killed the idea then.
But perhaps not.
Miss Susato, what are you doing?
We've heard that the first-class passengers were under constant scrutiny by the crewmen posted to guard them. Which would mean that the culprit had no opportunity to dispose of the body in the sea.
Yes, that's true. So transporting the body to Britain may have been the only viable alternative.
Dear me, you really are new to this, aren't you?
Huh?
I thought I'd been perfectly clear, but it seems I'm going to have to explain it in words you can understand. Think I ought to alter my testimony, with your consent, of course, my lord.
Okay, yeah. I have no objection. State your amended testimony now. Okay, yeah, lay it on me. What did you say?
There's no possible way I could have transported the victim's corpse back to Britain.
I'm trying to think of... we don't really have much on... I'm just going to press it to see if we can find a way to get through this. There's an idea.
Think about it, stripling. All passengers and crew disembarked at the same time and passed through the same checks at the border. The symposium guests were then driven straight into the hotel in carriages organized by the ministry.
And we met you as soon as you arrived at the hotel.
So you did? Well then, remind me, did I have a corpse over my shoulder at the time?
What? No.
So we're in agreement then. I couldn't possibly have brought the inspector's body back to Britain. Unless, of course, they've developed some clever device these days to instantly move things from A to B.
Funny you should say that.
Professor Hairbrain's invention didn't actually work, if you remember, Mr. Naruhodo.
Yes, of course.
That's right, that was Dobinbo's translated name.
Yeah. The defense has become unusually quiet, I notice.
Localized name, I should say.
Yeah.
Yes, because there's really nothing more to say.
So that's his story.
Well, I suppose if you think about it, whenever you drop a teacup in the office and it breaks, we don't say, Mr. Naruhodo must have been murdered there, do we?
Is that a veiled threat about what might happen to me if I break another one?
No. And the fact is that Inspector Grayson's body was found in the little room on Fresno Street. If he really was killed in Judge Jigoku's cabin.
The body would have had been moved somehow, obviously. Transporting a dead body over a country border. That'd be impossible for the majority of people. So there must have been some special circumstances that made it possible for the culprit then.
That could be a vital realization, I think, Mr. Naruhodo.
Do we have... So, oh god, I did the 1-2 extra. Oh god, I gotta hold the B button. We have to have something that proves that he was able to just kind of go.
Calm down.
Now that, there we are. All right. Present. So, the armband, that's how you transport it. It turns you invisible when you put it on because no one cares about me anymore.
Oh.
Redhead Article League, nope. Mr. Vigil, he ain't important right now. Letter of introduction, that doesn't have anything. That just says you can trust Naruhodo.
Wait, you said you could inspect it.
Well, that's just our note from, that was to, he doesn't want to have right, doesn't he? This dark-suited young man is not in the least bit untrustworthy. Is it just me, or does that make me sound extremely untrustworthy?
I do wish it called you nice young man.
I'm really not sure that would help. Yeah, that's just all
Okay.
that is from forever ago.
I didn't know if they were gonna flip it around or anything.
Dismissal
That has
notice.
nothing to do with it.
No, it's just a dismissal for Vigil.
Why are you
That's
looking
the
at
red
that?
hair piece. I'm just trying to check out everything that we have here. Gregson, that's all good stuff. Pocket watch, the record identification, commemorative photo. The Asogi papers. Ugh.
Is there something in a commemorative photo?
I mean,
The
it
trunk.
has a suitcase there. That's what I was thinking.
That's a huge trunk. Oh
It is
god,
a
that's
massive trunk.
that's creepy to think about.
Hey, Gregson, we got a picture of Gregson right here. I mean, that might be what we have to do. I'm trying to see
Yeah.
if there's anything that talks about the fact of him just being able to walk off the ship. Like Nigatoba mentioned
Well, that's
early
a
on.
huge trunk, so
Support.
I'm pretty sure it's the photo.
Yeah, that's all we really have, so. All right, let's go for it.
That's scary.
There we
Oh,
are.
I hate it. Oh.
There's no possible way you could have moved Inspector Gregson's body, you say? I would say the opposite is true.
And what's that supposed to mean?
Far from being impossible for you to do, the transporting Inspector Gregson's body back to Britain is something only you could do. What are you talking about, Ryunosuke? As well as being a judge, Mr. Jigoku is also being Minister of Foreign Affairs, which means he's exempt from having his luggage searched when he enters the country. We learned that when we first met you upon your arrival in London.
Oh.
I thought so, yes! Yes, this interaction. Well, all his passport checks and luggage searches at the border took rather a lot of time. I must say I'm very envious of your ministerial status. You didn't have to go through any of that, did you? That's exactly what it was!
I knew you were jealous.
Hey, there's Gregson's just right there in the background.
Oh my god.
Hey, he's been there all along.
That's terrifying. I hate it.
I presume you recall this, Judge Jigoku? It's a photograph we took in the foyer of the hotel to mark the occasion. As the court will note, you have with you your large travel trunk. Large enough, in fact, to have a corpse inside.
Mr. Naruhodo, surely you're not suggesting you took a picture next to Gregson's dead body?
I'm afraid I am, yes. 3 days ago, when we were chatting innocently with the new arrivals from Japan in the hotel, the body of Inspector Gregson was just meters away from us inside Judge Jigoku's trunk.
That's chilling. I hate it. Oh.
Ooh, order, order, order in the court. I'm skeptical, counsel. Yeah, that's how it's supposed. Okay.
Yeah.
That a grown man's body could fit inside even the largest travel trunk. It could, because I happen to know that the witness himself, a man of considerable size, fits inside his trunk. And verifying that would be extremely simple, wouldn't it, Judge Jigoku?
But inside his trunk? How horrifying!
And after we'd spoken to you at the Great Waterloo Hotel, you had the opportunity to visit the apparent scene on Fresno Street, taking your trunk with you in a cab to deposit the inspector's body.
I don't have to listen to this nonsense.
Yes, you do. Dr. Gory, the coroner who examined the body, has confirmed the possibility. She has acknowledged there are signs that steps may have been taken to disguise the true time of death. The onset of the body's decomposition would have been delayed by storing it in the refrigerator. Counsel, as I remember explaining yesterday, refrigerators of the requisite size are few and far between. Yes, I'm sure they are. But one place they're certainly found is on large ocean liners. You fuck. So Such ships are equipped with electrically refrigerated cold rooms to keep food fresh on their long sea voyages. And the SS Grouse is no exception. Professor Mikotoba told me about it only yesterday. Well, Judge Jigoku? However much you prolong this debate, you can't eliminate the truth. All the evidence points to you being the killer. I mean, that's a jump, but... After having played 10 games, it's always interesting when Phoenix and Apollo and Athena, when they're all like, you can't hide the truth, when it's really like, we're just like, how much speculation can we throw out there and see if it sticks?
Yeah.
It's the Phoenix right way, bluff it till you make it.
Yeah, it worked for years.
Well, this is all very heartening.
Heartening?
Huh?
You can see that it was a wise move, letting Asogi and you embark on this study tour.
What are you talking about now?
Logical reasoning, of course. All court proceedings will be built on logical reasoning in the new century. And I can see that you've both laid firm foundations for that already.
Judge Jigoku, please stop diverting attention from the issue at hand. The defense has made an accusation against you. How do you respond?
Respond? There's really no need for me to respond, is there?
Why ever not?
Because before you can even begin to answer the question of when the victim was killed, you must first establish one key fact. Where was the victim killed? It's quite logical.
The actual scene of the crime. The prosecution's stance is unaltered. The killing took place on Fresno Street when the gunshot was heard. As the accused Barrick Van Zeeks shot the victim at point-blank range.
Dude.
Since no tangible evidence exists to disprove the prosecution's claim at this time, the defense's deductions amount to little more than an elaborate fairy tale.
I'm afraid that's how the logical reasoning the British are known for really works, young stripling.
Oh, you want logic and reasoning? I got your logic and reason right here in the name of Sherlock Holmes, you little son of a bitch. If only I was trained in logic and reason and just graduated, like, literally last night.
Yeah.
The victim was shot in that little room on Fresno Street and died instantly. I'm afraid it's the prosecution's claim. That's the only fairy tale here.
Huh.
How can you say that?
Easily.
Quite simply.
Yeah.
Because that claim directly contradicts a certain piece of evidence in our possession. Huh? Very tantalizing, counsel. Think you'd better explain yourself to the court, don't you? Prosecution claims that Inspector Gregson died instantly when he was shot at the scene on Fresno Street. But this evidence clearly contradicts that claim. What the fuck are you talking
Save.
about? Yes, I'm gonna save, but what the fuck are you talking about? What evidence do we have that states that he was alive? Or, wait, no, that he didn't die instantly.
Contradicts.
So it's... And it contradicts the fact that he didn't die instantly. He said he died instantly when he was shot at the scene on Fresno Street. Oh, wouldn't be.
We're saying that he wasn't killed there, basically.
Well, right now the proof is we're actually trying to say that he didn't die instantly. It's the died instantly part that we're trying to fight here.
But he was already dead. Why would we fight the died instantly part? I thought we were trying to say that he wasn't killed there. That's
the fact that we prove he wasn't killed there. If we can prove the fact that he didn't die instantly, because everyone walked in the room and saw a dead man. So we're trying to disprove that fact to say he didn't die instantly, which is a heck of a one.
If you say so.
That's what the game seems to be pointing out to. Could it be the autopsy report? Between 9 p.m. and midnight. Wait, no, that's...
What do you... No,
that's the wrong... That's
yeah,
that's the wrong autopsy report. Where's the other... Where's the other... There's the autopsy report.
There is no time of death, remember? Even the autopsy report says instant death.
I don't... Because we don't... have anything. We don't have anything. We've already used that little trick. Passport wouldn't do anything.
What about
I'll go.
that?
This will be my guess, is that maybe with the blood on the trunk, that proves something.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Shouldn't we inspect it?
I guess I'll inspect the blood on it quick just to get in there, because it
Yeah.
seems to have reset everything. There's dark stain here. Do you think?
Yes, I'm afraid so. I think it's blood. Yeah, we've already been through this.
I know you're gonna say that. Okay. Well, I didn't update the thing at all.
No.
So
What about that?
I mean, we've already done all this before, so we shouldn't have to. But
Still, just in case.
just in case it broke when I had to redo the recording for the last 2 episodes.
Why are you opening it?
Because I have to actually see
get the thing. Yeah.
to see the thing there.
Yep.
Yeah, but then we investigate. Hey, the tip of car wasn't all that. Okay, so I didn't update anything at all. I'm just gonna throw the trunk.
Take that!
That doesn't seem to have been it.
Nope.
The Japanese really are a curious breed. To prove for the argument of such conviction, only present such nonsensical evidence. Perhaps my Japanese friends' inexplicable thinking is why people talk of the mystique of the East. In case you hadn't noticed, I'm not the only Japanese around here. You even have a mirror. Or is from the mystique of anything, you'll be penalized accordingly. Owie. Was the victim killed in reverse or was he moved after his death?
See, that's what they're trying to do.
We have that shows the answer to that.
Not whether he
surprisingly
died
clearly.
instantly or not. Perhaps you should try to present the correct one this time, then, Mr. Naruto.
Are you going to try again, or can't you hold your breath steadily enough to point
Your
it out?
hand steady
Hand's
enough.
not enough. Okay, and that's just... what do we have that shows that he was moved? We already used...
The thing was in the trunk.
I mean, it was, but like we said, that doesn't disprove his testimony beforehand of the fight. But...
Take that!
yeah, no, that's not it.
Nope.
So, I'm gonna let the game play itself and tell us the right answer.
You should load. That's what you should
I
do.
will go ahead and load the game back up from here. There we go. Because I have no idea, so I'm gonna see where the game
what about
decides
the
to go.
Does the evacuation drill have anything to do with anything? Oh, it's not you.
No,
I just
I'm letting the
realized it's
game
not
do it.
you.
I'm letting
Take that!
What did it choose?
it chose the picture.
Oh.
A photograph of the victim in the very location you claim he wasn't killed. What the fuck are we? What are you talking? Again, look at that picture quick to see what the hell makes it so clear that. Where's the
Further down.
There it is. I mean, nothing stands out to me. There's blood. There's a hairpiece.
Are we blind? What's happening?
I'm definitely blind. I don't see what proves that he wasn't killed.
Is it the
there
way
is.
that he's all folded up like that?
No, because people can die like that. That's a thing. I'm gonna let the game explain it so we can realize how dumb we are. A photograph of the. Did I read that?
Yeah.
Okay, my short-term memory is coming in strong on that one. Yes, but the point is the posture of the body itself.
I told you.
Huh? If Inspector Gregson had been shot there in that room,
I was right.
it's out of the question his body would have been curled up in a ball like
I was
that.
right. Take that, you, Evan.
Huh.
Sorry to disappoint you, but your logic is flawed. You only have adopted that fetal position due to the pain of the shot, which subsequently proved fatal.
Don't be an Evan, Jigoku.
Well, I mean, you just said he died instantly. Sorry to disappoint you, Judge Jigoku, but it's your logic that is flawed.
What?
According to this autopsy report, the victim died instantly. He would have felt no pain, much less have been able to draw himself into that position.
Yeah.
Which begs the question of why the victim's body is curled up in that way. Though the answer should be abundantly clear by now.
Yeah, Evan.
You're suggesting.
Yes, we are.
The inspector's body took on that posture ahead of its arrival on Fresno Street, before it was coldly turned out on the floor from the inside of a large travel trunk. No.
You're quite right. The shape of the body. Looks exactly as if it had been kept in a confined space. Almost like I pointed that out.
Judge Jigoku, present your trunk for examination. I believe it's very possible that it will contain traces of the victim's blood.
Ugh.
Well, that sounds like something that we need in here. You want to break that?
Yeah, I was gonna say, you're gonna
wanna
break it?
Present my trunk. I refuse.
That makes you
What?
guilty.
On what grounds? Bitch.
I'm the Minister of Foreign Affairs from the Empire of Japan. You shouldn't have to put up with this treatment just because of some stripling's baseless accusations.
In other words, Judge Jigoku, there is blood in your trunk.
I decline to answer that.
That means there is.
Yeah.
As the Minister of Foreign Affairs, I have privileges to...
He just went out and said it on his own. At this moment, you're not a government minister. You are a witness in a trial in Britain's highest court. I don't care who you are or what your status outside this courtroom might be. You will not withhold information.
Holy fuck, go off, Ryuu.
Nothing is more important than the truth.
Ah!
Damn,
Go off, my boy. I'm proud of you. Order in the court. Well, Mr. Jigoku, what's it to be? You can't be serious. You did it?
You didn't know?
Have you no shame at all, Kazuma Asogi?
What?
Very well, I admit it. I did bring the inspector's body into the country. Inside my trunk, exactly as postulated by the defense.
What? You. Dear God, outrageous. So it was you. You admit to it, that Inspector.
No! I admit to nothing more than what I've said.
He didn't admit he killed him.
Yeah. What?
Of killing the man, I certainly have no recollection.
He's gonna say Asogi killed him.
That's going to be his backup then. What on earth is that cryptic statement supposed to mean?
I merely disposed of the inspector's body, which was left in my cabin, in order to avoid any unwanted attention. As a judicial assistant over there pointed out, I had no chance to throw it into the ocean. So, I decided my only option was to bring it into Britain with me and dispose of it somewhere else.
You can't still deny it. If you didn't do it, then who on earth did kill the man?
As you know, there was one other person in my cabin that night. He had the opportunity. And moreover, he'd already accepted a mission to take the inspector's life.
Oh!
That's right. Who else could it have been? It was you, Kazuma Asogi.
You son of a bitch. You.
Wow.
I never thought you'd stoop to this, Shishir Jigoku.
Still can't say my name right, huh?
No.
You've taken the words straight out of my mouth. Prosecutor Kazuma Asogi. You thought by leaving the body in my cabin you could pin the crime on me, did you?
Well, the prosecution counsel's already admitted to visiting the witness's cabin on the night in question.
Yes, on an assassination mission, no less.
You wouldn't.
So, what do you make of that, young stripling? You've heard my testimony now, and that's all I have to say on the matter. I'll admit to nothing more.
I don't believe this.
Counsel for the defense, what is your position now? The court awaits your response to the witness's assertion. The assertion that on the night in question, the victim's assailant was in fact Mr. Kazuma Asogi. This isn't the dead end it seems to be. The answer's right in front of me.
That rhymed.
It comes down to Jigoku, or Kazuma. Both of them had the opportunity to kill Gregson, but only one of them did it. And I'm just a step away from proving who. Very well, the defense is ready to respond to the assertion put forward by Judge Jigoku. The idea that the victim's murder could have been committed by Prosecutor Sogi is... Well, don't... I was gonna hope he should say true or false, because impossible or possible, I mean, let's be honest, it is possible it could have been Prosecutor Sogi.
Especially with, the trunk.
Yeah, the trunk with the blood on it and the tip of your blade stuck inside there.
Yeah.
Ah, those are the words that threw me off on that one.
Save. Please.
It would make things a lot simpler if I could say impossible
Yeah.
and prove against it, because it can only complicate things if I say possible. But chances are impossible is
We've
probably
had
going
to
to be
do this
wrong.
in an Ace Attorney game before, though.
What do you mean?
Saying something is possible, but then have to disprove it still. I know we've had to do this before.
Just in case. Judge Jigoku, let me remind you of something you said only a few minutes ago. You claim that logical reasoning is the future of the judicial process.
Is it because Kazuma uses a sword? And he was
Well,
shot?
yeah, that is that too. Yeah. This is you.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
It is, no question.
Well, logical reasoning can prove something here. Namely, that it would have been impossible for Prosecutor Sogi to commit the crime.
What?
Huh?
Oh, that's because, like, since he used the sword, the weapon was, something that's issued to every member of the.
Well,
whatever.
I mean,
I don't know.
you can make the assumption that Asogi would have taken the gun and shot him, but I think we're going to just prove they didn't shoot him. But the court will only accept an argument that is supported by compelling evidence. So present what you have, counsel. A purpose that the alleged demonstrates the impossibility of
What
prosecutor
happened to your voice,
Asogi's
Strongheart?
involvement. It's just me moving into thought mode while it popped up the pictures.
I never do that when I read the judge's lines.
Should I just throw out the great sword? Because we have that, and we haven't used that since we got it.
Yeah.
Just gonna start doing the save scumming here now that we're getting in the big brain territory.
Can't be too careful.
Oh god, you're making the evidence weep here, Renosuke Naruhodo. Sorry? Every piece of evidence has a role to play in arriving at the truth. They're not playthings you can toss around the courtroom for entertainment.
That was incorrect.
No.
Never mind the evidence. You're about to make me weep, Mr. Naruhodo.
Oh no, I can't upset Susato-san or I'll end up being upset too. Now remember the crew was on sentry duty outside the first class cabins nearly all the time. As long as the guard was there, it would have been impossible to fire a shot without it being heard. And that very much narrows down when the crime could have been committed.
Court will only accept an argument that is support.
Whoa. Wait a second.
You're reading...
Wait a second.
Ooh, Strongheart, you feeling okay there? Had a little
Wait a
frog in my throat. Just go ahead and move
That
over here.
was months and months and months of conditioning. That's what that was.
Yeah, not that, obviously.
You don't want to...
Would
God,
it be
it's
the
bothering me
evacuation
that you
drill
didn't
notice? Because it was talking about the crew, but this is the only thing we have that talks about the crew.
Yeah, the evacuation.
But that doesn't really change anything. I'm gonna hit the... Okay, it is that. Thank you, story mode. Don't go to anger me, people, please. This itinerary for crew members of the SS Grouse, my lord. This is conclusive proof. An itinerary? How does that prove anything?
I didn't even know it was story mode. I thought you were doing that.
I let the game do it just in
See,
case.
you don't have to say anything if you don't.
Judge Jigoku, the moment you acknowledge that you found the victim's body in your cabin, this itinerary suddenly became much more significant.
Because I was about to say you should present the evacuation notice, but you cheated instead.
What I did is I hit story mode so that if it wasn't it would have moved away from it. That was a way of giving myself a lifeline. I was like, I'm going to hit the back button as the A button, or the Y button it would have been, because if this is correct, then it'll work, and if it's not, it'll just push me away a different direction.
Coward.
Yes.
Coward.
Yes.
I condemn you.
I'm sure the audience is going to as well, so.
What? Why?
On the night in question, as always, a crewman at sentry was on guard outside your cabin door. As long as he was there, nobody could have fired a shot inside the cabin. Absolutely, because it's inconceivable that the guard wouldn't have heard it and come to investigate. So that tells us that the crime must have taken place when the guard was elsewhere. And that narrows down to the 20 minutes just after 10 o'clock, as indicated on the itinerary. Yes, I see no flaw in your reasoning so far. But the crucial point is this. When the evacuation drill took place, the steamship had already put to sea from the port of Dunkirk.
Ah,
Now, clearly the murder could only have been committed by somebody who was aboard the vessel at the time. But Prosecutor Sogi said in yesterday's proceedings,
Oh, that's right.
I didn't come to Great Britain to take anyone's life, so I left Gregson and disembarked the ship. I spent that night at a boarding house in the town and returned to England the following morning. Which I'm sure the court will agree is conclusive proof
I forgot he said that.
that Kazuma Sogi couldn't possibly have carried out the killing.
ah.
Gotcha, bitch.
No, absolutely not. I don't accept that at all.
What do you mean?
Don't tell me that. Boy's just saying that to exonerate himself. We can't trust that he really disembarked the vessel. Obviously, after he left my cabin, he hid himself somewhere nearby on the ship. Just waiting for his chance to come back and...
Oh.
No, that's out of the question. Isn't it, Kazuma? As the defense rightly recalls, I disembarked the vessel and spent the night in a boarding house in Dunkirk. And as I said yesterday, I signed my name in the accommodations register book.
Yep, proof.
All extremely safe to verify.
Easy
and
to verify.
All extremely easy to verify and undeniable proof.
Where'd you read safe from?
I don't know.
No,
There's no escape this time. You can forget that you're a judge or a government minister. It's time you gave the court an honest answer as a common man.
Oh.
He's about to break that thing.
Yeah,
He's
he
about to
is.
shatter it like a fucking Hulk. You killed Inspector Tobias Gregson and transported his corpse back to Britain. Then you dumped the body in the room on Fresno Street and made it look as if the murder had happened there. That's what really happened, isn't it? Seshiro Jigoku. Did I do it?
So close.
Damn it!
Seishiro.
It was that damn trial 10 years ago. That's when this all began.
Oh god.
Looking back now, my fate was decided that day.
Oh god.
I was doomed already.
Oh god.
I'm scared.
Are you busting off to space?
Yeah.
Oh, there it goes.
Jesus.
That's a lot of splinters.
Wow. Okay.
It's over. My life is over.
Okay.
Well then.
Terrifying.
I knew there was an anti-gravity bomb somewhere! Ooh.
Ooh.
A British assassin to eliminate a professor in Japan. A Japanese assassin to eliminate a detective in Britain. Both assassins will use diplomatic immunity to evade conviction and return safely to their homelands. Oh, that must have been him.
Yeah.
The assassin exchange request arrived from Britain about 1 year ago. It was hardly a request, it was a demand.
And for that, you decided to recruit Mr. Asogi. But things didn't go according.
There's no one to plan your
this is me.
Okay.
So.
It's hard to tell.
I know when they do this, it gets rough. Your chosen assassin never made it to Britain, and you found yourself unable to dispatch a replacement. Because I was already on my way to Britain at that time in Cosmo's place.
And that left me with only one option for carrying out my obligation. To eliminate the mock myself, personally. Of course, there's but a single opportunity for me to do that.
The International Forensic Science Symposium, I presume.
That's right. I decided it would be safest to carry out the plan before my arrival in Britain. So I enlisted the help of my British counterpart. I made arrangements for a pretext that would take the inspector to Dunkirk. To lure the man in, he was given a sham mission by the Reaper.
What? The Reaper? But there's only one person who could have done that. The mastermind of the entire operation. The Reaper himself.
So, that means that the assassin exchange was... It was all planned by the Reaper.
Huh.
I'm not at liberty to say anything about my British counterpart. accepted at Strongheart. Anyway, the inspector accepted the Reaper's mission and dutifully infiltrated my cabin on the steamship. It was all a trap designed to seal him to France, to lead him to France.
Seal him in France.
And his own death. His soul was sealed there.
Oh, how awful.
It was past 9 o'clock when I returned to my cabin from the dining hall that evening. It didn't give him time to attack me. It choked him until he lost consciousness. But there was a guard just outside the door, so I left it at that for the time being. Even the slightest noise might have aroused suspicion, so I bided my time, waiting.
For the 20 minutes after 10 o'clock.
I intended to finish him by strangulation, but moments before I had the chance, he suddenly came round and went for me in a reckless move.
Oh.
I'd received a British issue gun 16 years earlier, being a member of the judiciary as a visiting student.
Oh.
Never imagined I'd have to use it for something like that.
So the revolver belongs to you, does it? Then the victim was killed inside your cabin on the SS Grouse, which begs the question of why you arranged for his body to be discovered in the room on Fresno Street.
The young judicial assistant over there has already answered that question. There was no way I could take the body up on deck to throw it over the side. It's precisely where all the crewmen were gathered for the evacuation drill. Before the first class cabin sentry returned, took the corpse to the refrigeration room.
And then on arriving in Dover, you concealed the body in your trunk in order to smuggle it past the border police.
I knew I needed to take steps if the police were to be convinced when the body was found in London.
In that case, you must have known. You must have had intimate details of Inspector Gregson's intended schedule.
Yes, my British counterpart sent me everything I needed to know. The inspector was due at Fresno Street at 5 o'clock that afternoon, in order to meet a man by the name of Hugh Boone, from whom he would take back his police identification.
My throat is going.
Don't worry, we'll be ending this soon, so.
Decided that man would be the perfect person to set up as the culprit. So I took a hackney carriage over there with the body still in my trunk.
That must have been just after we took this photograph with you at the hotel then.
Yes, I wasn't expecting a welcoming committee. Was more than a little nervous. On Fresno Street, I spotted a young girl selling little firecrackers.
Miss Venus, of course.
Yep.
I conceived of the candle trick there and then. So I donned a simple disguise and approached the girl to buy enough firecrackers to replicate a gunshot.
What sort of disguise?
For some reason, the inspector had a bright red hairpiece in his own traveling case. So I put that on, although I suspect I drew more attention to myself and that than I would have otherwise.
The hairpiece we found at the scene. The inspector had it ready for the Red Headed League investigation.
I only arrived at the room at around 4:45. So I quickly placed the body on the floor, moved the notice board, and set up my little candle trick. I arranged it so the firecrackers would go off along with the bang around 15 minutes later.
So that Mr. Boone, who was due to arrive at 5, would walk straight into a trap?
Except at the last moment, I made a careless blunder.
What was that? Van Zeek's.
Yeah. I imagine it was the bag of fish and chips.
Oh. Ah!
Didn't notice it had fallen out of his overcoat pocket. When I moved the body to the refrigeration room, I put it back into his pocket the following morning, but... well, it seems the warmth of the heated cabin had accelerated the decay of the fish. Anyway, that's everything. All the sordid details of what I did.
It's so weird for the stand to not be there anymore.
It looks like he's on a stage.
Yeah. I've heard enough.
Not guilty.
We've arrived at the truth about the murder of one of the country's most capable and respected police inspectors. The witness will be tried in the coming days. For a crime of such a vile nature, you can expect the most severe penalty.
An exchange of assassins. What a foolhardy idea.
Mr. Jigoku, one last detail. Who was your counterpart in Britain? Who was the mastermind behind the assassin exchange?
He's gonna say Van Zeeks.
Well, we're gonna find out what case that'll be next time.
Oh, Jesus.
Will it be Van Zeeks? Will it be someone else? I have no idea.
I mean, it's obviously Strongheart, but, like, he's probably gonna try and pin it.
I bet before Jigoku can answer, Asogi's gonna be like, it was Barrack Van Zeeks.
Yeah.
The man
Obviously.
I hate so much.
I'll just be like, just cause him a no.
It's like, come on, let's have a little chit chat.
Have some of Iris's herbal tea, for God's sake.
There you go.